So now you're in a Pacific yes, take 2 or 3 years almost.
My name is Winston Kaba Deegan, and I report for Spoon Network. Honorable political leader of the ANC. You've been in Grand Chile today. You travel along the way from Monrovia to Grand Chile. Tell us the condition of the road and what are some of the challenges you face along the way.
So the roads where I was described as okay, it's paved all the way to Tapeta, more or less, some bricks in between, thanks to the CDC government, and I understand you procured the monies before you left office. That's right. To take the road all the way to Fishtown. And road infrastructure is not only important, so let me applaud all governments who have invested in the roads. But the more important point that I like to make, though, is that it's great to be here in Zwedru. I want to thank the chairman, President Weah, the leadership of the CDC for the invitation to be the keynote speaker. I was very warmly received by the leadership of the party. Thank you all for that. And the point I want to emphasize is that we are all Liberians at the end of the day. Bad rules don't distinguish between CDC, ANC, UP. When people are hungry, there's no distinction between tribe, religion, political affiliation. We are one people. We want to develop this country if we work together, right? We make no apologies that we're going to hold whichever government is in power accountable for the stewardship of the state. The Unity Party is in power today. We will hold them accountable without any apology. There are too many things going wrong in Liberia. Unfortunately, the rain interrupted my speech. But there are too many things going wrong that collectively, as the opposition, we have to hold this government accountable because they have the responsibility, they have the accountability, they have the constitutional authority to manage our country in the interest of all of us. And that is not happening today. So again, you asked about roads. The road doesn't make any distinction between CDC, ANC, UP. It affects all of us. And this is why reconciliation and working together is key.
Honorable Cummings, your speech focused and emphasized mostly on the presence of division on ethnic and partisan line. And I'd like to know from you, these collaborative efforts in Zwedru today, how can it guarantee a turnaround from a divisive politics and governance approach to a more inclusive and, of course, a leadership for the country that guarantees the rights of every Liberian, irrespective of their tribe, your region, or your political affiliation?
So my speech does not guarantee any outcome, but I hope it's a catalyst, it's a beginning of a conversation that we can have as a country, as a people, that we will have differences. That's okay, but that doesn't mean Samuel Twer or Janga are my enemies. We have different point of view. And that's what I want Liberians to realize. Look, I keep saying, none of us choose our tribe. God makes that decision. None of us choose our gender. None of us choose the religion we're born into. Those things should not give you any advantage or disadvantage over anybody. Because it's not a choice. It's what we do, what you do. So if you don't obey the law, if you break the law, or if you're lazy, you're not strong, those are consequences, those are choices you make, right? But I am a strong believer that we gotta work together. It's not a zero-sum game. We can do both. You can take care of partisans, you can take care of the country. They're not mutually exclusive.
Okay.
So that's the mindset we want to start at least a conversation, including with the UP, by the way. But I'm glad the CDC invited me to give me the platform to have this conversation.
So with the DN News,
then we'll take this.
Yeah, then we'll take this last.
That will be done.
Yeah.
So
DN News.
Mr. Cummings, I'm Lawrence Limpan, I report for DN News Liberia. Liberians are in this state of diversity. You have been criticized and have been the toxicity of politics. And now, amongst many opposition leaders, you have been choosing. You are choosing to serve as a keynote speaker, one of your major contenders. Then, do Liberians expect a positive collaboration? You being a vice president, you being a vice president to the Senate bearer of the Congress for Democratic Change?
So I think it's too early, premature to start talking about positions. My interest is in our country. My interest is in working together with whoever wants to work together with me so we can develop Liberia. So ordinary, common, average Liberians can benefit from the resources of Liberia. That is my ambition. That is my goal. Titles, etc. Look, the presidency is the job that gives you the most authority to change the country. But that's not what this is about. This is about how we work together to develop our country, how we work together to hold the government in power accountable.
Follow-up question.
Okay. So we'll squeeze the last one from front page. So we'll squeeze the last one.
Follow-up question.
So let's get him, then we'll squeeze the last one from front page. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so my name is Atopi Wisset. I report for the Union TV. Honorable, I want to get a clear understanding from you because there's a saying that all of the opposition's leader major figures are not together in terms of coming together to break the government feet to fire. So today you serving as a keynote speaker celebrating the 22nd anniversary of the Congress for Democratic Change. Is this a sign of unity, collaboration to come together and see how far that the Liberian people can be delivered?
I think it's the beginning of that. Again, it all depends on what we do when we leave it, right? But I think it's the beginning of collaboration. I think it was important that there were other political leaders here present, from the CMC, the MPC, etc. That's a good sign, it's a good beginning. Now it's what we do when we leave here that will determine whether we continue to work together to hold
the last time President Bouaka said,
everybody can speak.
Everybody can speak, yeah.
So the last time President Bouaka said the best medicine for people from different political parties are to get used to good things happening in the country. What do you make of that?
I'm not sure I understand the point.
President Bouaka said you need to get used to a lot of good things happening in the country. That's the best medicine for people in the opposition. What's your take on that?
But we got to see what good things are happening, right? So I agree with the statement, but now let's see what good things come forward, right? So you got the issue with the drugs, $90 million. Let's see what they do with that. We wrote a letter on the FOIA project. Let's see what happens there. So yeah, if the good things happen, it will be less for us to criticize. Look, I said this, I don't know if the CDC people remember it. I said it then, I say it now. Any political party that's in power, we should wish them success. Because if they're successful, that means they're suffering. And if it makes it harder for them to replace them, that's a good thing. We should be in a race to the top, not in a race to the bottom, right? So if Unity Party President Bouaka do good things, but Bouaka my friend too, by the way, just become a friend of President Weah. If they do good things, I would say so, by the way. But if they don't, I would say so too. And make no apologies for either one.
Okay, follow-up question. Franklin Delocque is one in your work for OK and Front Page Africa. If you have been asked to grade Joe Bouaka government, what is score will you give them?
I think that's a creed that should come from the Liberian people, right? I think, look, I say this all the time, gentlemen, I know with me here today in the press, that I've been very blessed, extremely blessed in life. I acknowledge that all the time to God. And I think that greeting should come from the Liberian people. And as I think about where the country is, right, is either seen, I said nothing has changed or it's going backwards, right? But that greeting should come from that.
With the reflection of the CPP fingerings fieldwork document, Musa has ability have called for an establishment of opposition fieldwork document. Now, where do you stand in establishing an opposition fieldwork document?
So I think what Musa said, and I agree with, and I've said this to others, I think maybe Tito and I will spoke about it. If we're going to come together, we have to come together towards an objective. It can't be we come together to take power, right? We come together, and for me, to change the country. We come together because that provides the context for how you come together, how you organize it yourselves, right? What are we trying to achieve? It cannot be we play musical chair with a great shape like Europe, right? And so I think the good news is Liberians have experienced both political parties. I think both parties now are at a different stage. I think this time around, all of us will do it differently. And I think all of us will collectively understand that our getting together is about changing the country for the benefit of every Liberian person. That is the goal. And if we are clear on that, the rest will be a little easier. right? So
Thank you very much.
Thank you for talking to the press.